Hello everybody, welcome to Great Motorcycle Rides Washington, where we like to focus on, obviously, great motorcycle rides. Oh, what a good puppy, huh? You're such a good dog.
He like you from far away.
Yeah.
You're like,
You're
that guy's cool. That
He
guy's
smells
cool.
my dogs too, I'm sure. Have a good one. Today we're going to be checking out South Whidbey Island. A really neat place. First we got to get on the ferry.
Morning.
Morning, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. When boarding a Washington State ferry, you need to remember, don't wait in the line of cars. Ride right up to the front, get up to the toll booth, pay your money. They're going to send you to the front anyhow in the motorcycle staging area. If you show up while the boat is boarding, just proceed in the same fashion, and they're going to put you on the boat last. Another thing to keep in mind when getting on the ferries is they do operate on water, so a lot of times the car deck is wet. It's made out of metal and it can be quite slick, so don't hit the gas really hard or jam on the brakes or make any crazy sudden moves. No need to take any unnecessary risks. But it is a great way to get across the water here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Today we're going to be taking a look at the south end of Whidbey Island. It's the more sparsely populated part of the island. Not a lot of heavy traffic on the side roads out here, but there are quite a few quaint little towns with an artistic flair where you guy can stop in and enjoy a sandwich or a drink, perhaps an ice cream cone. There's also wineries, rolling hills, heavily wooded areas, lots of fantastic views of Puget Sound, and an ancient military-style fort to tour for those who are interested in such things. Here's the ride map for today's excursions. Kind of tooling the back roads all around Whidbey Island. The first stop, Clinton, Washington, right where the ferry dumps us off. Lovely little town right on the very south end of the island. And it's all uphill from here. And we're going to head on up to what we call the top. A great place up here. Spent a lot of time up here back in the day. Played in rock and roll bands. Met a lot of great people up here. It's one of my favorite places in the entire Northwest. Lovely Chinese restaurant and lounge called the Hong Kong Gardens. Has a great view of Puget Sound, and you can see Mukilteo and Everett and all the lights from the dining room tables. A really great place. If you get a chance, come on up here and get yourself a bite. I haven't ate at the restaurant for several years now, but hopefully it's still a great place to eat. Little side road along Clinton. Once again, it looks like the day is just going to the dogs. Dang, dogs love me. And cruising along out here, you can really get a feel for how remote this area is. I mean, just there's not a ton of traffic if you're staying off the main highway. Plenty of twists and turns and wooded areas, fields, views of Puget Sound, but not a lot of traffic. Moving right along, we're headed down into Langley, Washington, another quaint little town on our journey. We're going to roll on down this little side road to a hidden little cove that they call the bustling port of South Whidbey Island. Filson Memorial Park. It's a pretty chill spot. I believe the buildings that are straight in front here are some form of lodging, be it a bed and breakfast or what have you. There's definitely people packing and unpacking their suitcases there. Great view of Puget Sound here. Quiet, remote kind of spot. Definitely a lot of fun. place to stay. The deck up top, all that looks like a neat place. Now we're going to take a quick ride right through the downtown Langley waterfront. Very chill area. Definitely a cool place to come to. Great views of the sound. We can see right there on the right, someone needs to mow their roof. Nice little seating area here to roll up and have a cup of coffee or just hang out with some friends for a little while. I love this little section of town. It's just so peaceful, quiet, cool old storefronts. Something that really is worth the trip out, just to kind of chill and hang out here. Leaving Langley, we find ourselves back out on the open road again, overlooking Puget Sound. Incredible ride out in this section. Once again, limited traffic, poorly marked roads, so you better take it easy because you never know what's going to be around the next turn. Hello, little dear. Rolling right on through, we find ourselves arriving at the waterfront park in Freeland. I love this little park. It's just beautiful. They keep it up incredibly well. It's just a really nice little park. We'll kind of roll on up the hill here above the park, and the great big brown building on the right is Freeland Hall. A lot of great memories there. We had a lot of incredible parties there throughout the years. When there used to be an Island County chapter of Abate, they had their fall bash there every year. This little park here on the right was always full of people camping out for the weekend of the event. Many a pig roast, live bands, you name it. Then it kind of winds on down to this lovely little cove here. I thought I would shoot a view of this cove from both directions just because it is kind of impressive. I really like it. Absolutely amazing how quiet it is out here with the motorcycle shut off. Anyways, this little area of Driftwood is a cool place. A great view of the Olympic Mountains. A bench in memory of Michael Crowell, who lived to fish, by the way. It's out here in the salt flats, or the tidal flats, I guess is the correct word for them. You can really smell the salt air out here and the sea breeze. Now we're rolling up on the other ferry terminal on the island. This is the Port Townsend Keystone Ferry. This one runs right over to Port Townsend. The way I usually go if I'm heading over to the peninsula, maybe it's a little bit longer than driving around time-wise, but I don't really think so. It's just a much nicer way to go. This ferry doesn't run as often as the others, so you definitely need to check the schedule and make sure you leave yourself plenty of time. And then, of course, right up here on the bluffs, overlooking the ferry terminal, besides the beautiful view, of course, you can find the entrance to Fort Casey State Park. Fort Casey is antiquated military facility built originally started in 1897 and completed around 1901. Unfortunately, it was basically obsolete by the time they completed the construction. However, it is a really cool place to come and check out, hang out, walk around, and a lot of people like to come out here and fly their kites because it's nice and windy, so that's another thing that happens. It is a lovely facility, though. I mean, you can check it out. This gives you an idea, roughly the scope of things from the ground level here. Lots of concrete, lots of work in this. You can see kind of the layout of the fort, the 10-inch disappearing guns down at the very end down there. Really pretty amazing how they have the carriages that lift them up to fire and then drop them back down as soon as they're done so they're invisible from the sea. So give you an idea about the size of the guns right here. So you can see the gentleman standing on the carriage right there. He could easily fit that baby inside that cannon. Easy. I mean, here's a look down the breech of the gun. You can see the riflings and the trash that some hoodlums threw down in there. Overhead, the gun emplacements get a tremendous look out at the Puget Sound. Anything floating around out there you could probably hit, even though I don't know why you'd want to. Beautiful view. You can see some of the walking trails that cut through up here as people stroll all around looking. Danger signs by the edge. You don't want to fall off that embankment for sure. These are little, I don't know, A-cloves that stick out. They could roll guns on rails down here to these little embankments. The rails are still there underground. Lots of places to walk around and explore here. Ladders, tunnels, dark places, places with tons of echoes. It's a really fun time, especially if you have a bunch of energetic children that need to run around. You can see here that the facility extends quite a bit further down and around the corner, all the way down by the ferry, actually. Lots of places to explore, lots of room to hike and camp and run around. You can make a whole day out of this trip quite easily. Still here on our way out of the park, you can see these knolls. These are actually emplacements and things that are down underneath all that dirt there on your right-hand side. Lovely time at Fort Casey, like always. It's well worth the trip out, and take some time to explore it. And just a stone's throw away from Fort Casey is Coupeville, Washington, a place that is very dear to my heart. Here we are at the historic downtown waterfront area of Coupeville. Lots of neat old houses in this town. And this particular street has plenty of shops, restaurants, a pub, a pier you can walk out on. I think there's a restaurant out on the pier too, I'm not sure. But it's really a neat area. Don't get there too late like I did today. It's a little late in the afternoon, and even though I found a place to park, trying to get into one of the restaurants was a bit challenging. Everyone was telling me, oh, you got like 2 hours. So instead of going into one of the pubs there, I ambled up the street to the hot dog vendor down there at the very end and got myself a dog and sat out in the park and enjoyed the sun and the cool breeze and beautiful Puget Sound scenery. You can't beat this place. It's really something special. Well, that kind of concludes my tour of the south end of Whidbey Island for the day. Lovely time. All I can say is get out there and check it out yourself. You won't be disappointed. The one thing that's important to remember too, we almost forgot about Greenbank, but Greenbank itself is famous for its telephone booth. So if you need to call someone, make sure you stop by the phone booth in Greenbank and give them a call.